A very good morning to you, dear listener, and welcome to this Monday's edition of Perspectives, a current affairs discussion program on iGate Radio 95.5 Star FM Makudi. We'll start by offering sincere apologies to you for starting behind schedule today. It is due to circumstances beyond our immediate control. Kindly bear with us. And as we are here today, today's edition of Perspectives, our focus is on the Northern Governor's endorsement for state police. The Northern Governor's in this endorsement for the creation of state police. At the weekend, precisely on Saturday, the Northern Governors Forum under the aegis of the 19 state Northern Governors under the aegis of the Northern State Governors Forum met in Kaduna at the Kashim Ibrahim Government House in Kaduna, and are part of the communique they issued at the end of their joint meeting, which was held jointly with traditional rulers drawn from the northern part of the country. They made a resolution supporting strongly the creation of the state police, citing the need for a decentralized security management to effectively address security challenges, especially in the northern region of the country. They talked about the killings in Benue State and, of course, in Plateau and other parts of the north, in the northeast, where Boko Haram terrorists have had sway, and other ravaging issues of banditry, kidnapping, and terrorism, acknowledging the need for non-partisan cooperation, collaboration, and peer review strategies in effective policing for security measures to be restored in the northern part of the country. And that is why, even though the issue for the creation of the state police is not coming up first, this time what has become new of it is that the Northern Governors under their auspices of Northern Governors Forum have renewed the same call, with this yield result this time around, and are the Northern Governors realizing the need for them to collaborate on non-partisan basis to address the security challenges ravaging the northern part of the country. These and more will form the basis of our conversation this morning on the program. I have been joined here in the studio by a seasoned analyst who is a lecturer in the Department of Political Science at the Benue State University, Makudi. Dr. Sebastian Agbinda is our guest on Perspectives. Thank you for joining us on the program. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
We are also expecting the chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association MBA Makudi branch, Barrister Tena Yaji, who will join us. As soon as he's here with us in the studio, we'll let you know. And later in the course of the program, we'll be joined virtually by the special advisor to the Benue State Governor on Security, Mr. Joe Ha, who will join us virtually on the program. My name is Nathaniel Nongo, welcoming you to this edition. And later in the course of the program, we'll avail you the platforms through which you can participate on this edition. Let's begin, Dr. Agbinda. The communique over the weekend reaffirming their support for or endorsing the creation of state police. How did this news come to you? This is not the first time the issue of state police is coming up, but with the northern governors throwing their backing for it.
This is a very significant and remarkable development. It is a constitutional matter, and historically, especially in recent history, the Northwest governors, you can say Northwest generally, Northwest governors, and specifically the Sultanate, and that is Sokoto and Kebbi, have been two states that have continued to make their voice heard against the idea of state creation. The bulk of the southern states have all along supported the idea of state creation. So it is remarkable that the North, whatever it is coming out now to say, look, we are behind. We are going to push. When it comes to the National Assembly, they will offer no resistance, since the bulk of the South is in support. The issue is beyond, though I imagine you will come to that. It's not about state creation, and amending the constitution. It's also about state
State
police creation.
Yes.
You also have the added matter of local government police and then community policing. They are quite separate entities and they need to be addressed too. The issue is also about operations of how federal systems operate. Nigeria is arguably one of the only countries in the world, the whole world, that operates a very unified, a very unitary constitution, that has a unitary constitution that it calls federal. Because one of the key issues, this issue needn't have come up at all if we operated our constitution or operated the security of this country around the tenets, the true tenets of federalism. Federalism talks about the dispersal of powers to the peripheries. And one or any tribes, and then you centralize power, centralize security, and almost all the other agencies of government are centralized. So what happens to your states, local governments, where there's a lot of diversity? This is what we are talking about. It's something that should have been settled constitutionally. But the military, for one reason or the other, enthroned a unitary constitution based on their image, based on their command structure, and based on the machinations of certain people who control the military, ethnic machinations of those who control the military at the time. And they have ensured that the security of this country is in their hands. And that has meant that, federalism has not been operative in this country. And that has manifested in the area, in the realm of security or insecurity, which is why today we are talking about northern governors endorsing that, we should have state police. It ought to have been there, have been issued from the very go. It was there somehow during the First Republic when you had, police not just centralized. It was centralized even then. So it is something that is remarkable that some of the conservative forces in the country who have supported a unified police system have now come to acknowledge the importance of diversification of policing architecture and all that. They have to follow through. They have to follow through by. It's a much wider phenomenon, and I think as we go, the issues will be raised. And
yes. So particularly this latest backing, they cited the need for a decentralized security management to effectively address security challenges. The challenges we have on our hands security-wise, do they prompt the need for state police, especially coming from the northern governors at this time, you would say?
They need more than state police. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
They need local government police. You have 774 local governments in this country.
Let me interrupt you.
Yes.
The decentralized security management they're talking about here with the creation of state police. So in addition to the creation of the state police, you are advocating even a local government police.
Yes, and that is how federal systems.
When we are yet to achieve the state police and your advocacy,
it has to come. It ought to have come in this form from day one in the Constitution. Now that you're addressing state police, you just have to address local government police. The fact is, it's quite strangely, for a three-tier system, they talk of federal, state, and local government. So why are you limiting yourself by saying, look, we are stopping at state police? You are supposed to have local government. In the U.S., the most effective policing outfit is at the local government. The local governments in the U.S. are called counties. If anything happens, it is they sniff it out. There is no way on earth you can have the phenomenon of header farmer crisis, Fulani header farmer crisis in a federal system. It is only here. It happens here because you don't have at the local government level. You don't have a police force. If you had a police force, it can never happen. It is on the failure or the difficulties that the police force, the policing force would encounter at the local government that would trigger, the arrival of state police, and thereafter, the U.S. we modeled our constitution after the U.S. And they have county police, they have mayoral police, they have local government. They have power is not centralized in the governor, in the president, or in any secretary, or maybe the Homeland Secretary for the youth. It is entirely impossible. That way, security regulation cannot be manipulated by a single individual, as happens here, or by a single ethnic entity. So it is not just about state police. I imagine by talking about decentralized security management, they are underscoring the primacy of the presence of local government police. They go side by side. You can't have state police. The security system in the country itself, we have continued to repeat this. There's no, the security is over centralized at the center. Now, as you move down from Abuja to the provinces, you pass through the states, you have less policing. By the time you reach the local government, there is absolutely no policing. The DPOs don't have any power. Security team. The governors are chief security officers. They don't have control over security. Now, at the ward level, it is completely barren. There is no presence of security. By the time you have local government police, you will now have that they will have ward police offices operated by the local government police entities. Just like now you have DPOs who are very powerless, but you still talk of divisional police officers embedded in local governments. So this is how it operates across federal systems in the world. Nigeria is unique in practicing this security system that is centralized, concentrated at the center, and literally owned by certain ethnic entities. This is what we are talking about. And therefore, you have, they are feeling the heat now. This is what you can say. Some of these groups that thought they were immune from insecurity across the country, especially in the north, are feeling the heat. That is why they are now coming out to support something that they have stood against from day one.
All right. Of course, the chairman of the Northern Governors Forum. Okay, before we go on, we've now been joined by the special advisor to the Benue State Governor on Security, Mr. Johar. Good morning, Mr. Johar. Thank you for joining us here on Perspectives on iGate Radio.
Good morning, iGate Radio. Chief Johar, not Mr.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So, as you are already aware, the governors of the 19 northern states under the Northern State Governors Forum at the weekend Saturday met in Kaduna and endorsed the creation of the state police as a special advisor to the Benue State Governor. The Benue State Governor was represented at that meeting. What is the position of the state government of Benue concerning the creation of state police?
All right, thank you very much. I get to you, right?
Very well.
Okay. My name is Chief Honorable Joseph Tewasa, PSB ISPA, Special Advisor to the Settlement on Security and Internal Affairs. Not actually the spokesman of the governor. So if you're asking the position of the local government on this matter, I won't be able to tell you because I will be doing what I'll be acting ultra virus, not my role to communicate government's position. But as an erudite security professional, I can communicate, I can contribute on this. So if you want me to contribute as a professional, I can go ahead, but speaking as a mouthpiece of Benue State government, I may decline. So What do you have to say?
Okay, talk to us as a professional, as a security analyst, as a security person that you are, if you do not have the position of the government.
Okay, thank you very much. These caveats are very important before we start writing things that we jam our head with another person not doing his job.
Not at all.
So, the issue of community policing is due since yesterday. That is to say, it's long overdue. The constitution of the federal government of Nigeria also provides for it. Unfortunately, it hasn't been implemented yet. The Nigerian police force, as effective as they may be, they cannot be everywhere at every time. If we recruit for Benue State 10,000 police officers, Nigerian police force officers, men and officers, you cannot still have them over Benue State. Hence the need to have community police to close up those areas that seem to be unprotected, that seem to be unpoliced, that seem to be uncovered police-wide. In Benue State, we have taken a bold step, and that is why you hear other states say that using the Benue State model. So when the other states come behind, the Benue State, the amalgamation of the livestock guard and the Benue State military guard to form what is now called the Benue State Civil Protection Guard that was passed by an act of parliament and signed to law on 24th of June 2024 is a clear indication of the existence of a community policing system. These lines are everywhere in every world and can respond to any distress call. They are first responders. Community police are going to be first responders. They will not replace the conventional Nigerian police force or other conventional security agents.
Okay, apologies to interrupt you, Chief. Let's get the context clear. We are talking about state police here and not just community police. So talk to us the context of the state police and where you stand as a security analyst.
Okay, so if I go state is comprising of the communities, right?
Very well.
Yeah, so it's not to say that each community will go and form its own community police. It's the state police that I'm referring to as community police. So if I make mistake and pronounce community police in my discussion now, know that I'm talking about state police. The state police I'm talking about. As the state police, their role is not to replace the Nigerian police force, nor the other community security agents, but is to respond as first responder, support the community security operatives, because they know who the criminals are in the communities. They know the routes where to pass. They know where to go to. They know what to do at any point in time. So someone is named as the police officer, but doesn't know anything about an interior part of Greece. And those people in those council wards, let me use my village to give you a good example. You have police in Vanica and in you. But these people in Vanica and you, they don't know anything about back home. They don't know anything about Bawushu, Bomango, or Bakan in Mawa's village, or Nakbara and Mother's village. But each of these places will have their own personnel there to respond to first hand to any situation before transferring it to the conventional police. So the state police, which I mentioned earlier as community police, is very desirous. Everyone knows this. Except people that have ulterior motives And using the Benue model, the fear that people were having before was that state police will be converted for politics and all of that. Using an example in Benue State. Benue State Governor, President Yorubalia Doctor, came and inherited livestock guard and royal guard. They were closed for many quarters to ban these people and to recruit fresh people. And the gentleman said, don't people that you want to leave them to discharge them into the society with creating more room for crime. So profile these people and sort them and return them to meet the standards. That is what we did in Benue State. If we don't do this now, by the time earlier flush this one out and bring other people, another government will come and flush them again and bring other people. And using them again as an example, during the last election, they were not allowed to participate in the election if we were in Benue State.
And the governor was not on seat at that last election, where if you reference the Benue model.
Yes.
Then the Governor Alia had not come into office.
Yes, I get radio. They are not coming in governance. It was Oton that was on seat.
No, I just want us to put the context clear so that the listener understands us.
I'm putting it clear as you want. Governor Samuel Oton was the governor. But by creation, these people are not supposed to be part of election. So they were not part of election. When Alia came on board, he had 12 these people, and during this last election, they still did not participate in elections. And instead of flushing them away, they re-energized them, reconditioned them, injected veterans into the system, and trained them rigorously to meet up the desired community state police that we need. A manual was written with every do's and don'ts of the system. And I can tell you, the fear of using them as politicians and all of that is what Alia has abused. And so other states are using the Benue model to also create their own organizations, outfit, so that they will close off the unpoliced space in Nigeria.
Okay, Chief. Now, you talked about this fear quite repeatedly, and still at the same time, people are nursing the same fear up to this moment that if state police is created, it will be a tool of operation in the hands of state governors. Talk to us in the context of the Northern Governors Forum, which His Excellency Governor Alia also belongs to. Is he allaying the fears of Benue people that if created in the state, not as community police structure as it is now, there will be no oppressive tendencies towards its citizens?
I just state here very clear, and you are free to challenge me if I'm lying. As a Benue State is leading for others to follow. What we have in Benue State as Benue State Civil Protection Guard is a combination of the military, police, and paramilitary veterans that are heading all the local government and all the departments. They have brought the system where a Muslim soldier can go for a riot in a Christian community. I will not victimize the Christian. A Christian soldier go a riot in a Muslim community. I will not victimize them. This is what we have brought into the Civil Protection Guard. They have been trained on what we call the voluntary principle for security and human rights. I'm sure you've not heard about this before. The voluntary principle for security and human rights. This principle is a convention, a Geneva Convention, that teaches the security agent how to carry out their duty and will be challenged if the Civil Protection Guards are being used for political gain or for oppression. They are not, as far as I'm concerned, because I'm the supervising authority. So I know that I have not received any report any day of an officer of the Civil Protection Guard victimizing any politician or going against any gathering or whatever. They act against the law to support the conventional security agent.
Okay, now the governors specifically called on the National Assembly to expedite action on the enactment of the legal framework for the establishment of state police. As a special advisor to the governor on security, even though you acting in line with maybe the call by the Northern Governors Forum expediting action for the creation of state police in the country.
Thank you very much. If the National Assembly do not accept the section for you, the constitutional measure that provides for this. So, and recall that when so even when there is not such provision in the constitutional measure, the National Assembly should understand that the Nigerian Police Force and indeed the general, the entire surveillance security is for the creation of a state police that will be professional and not political, that will stand beyond the test of time. The man that was the commander of the last guard, volunteer guard and last guard, they are now the commanders. So earlier did not sack them, and so in the National Assembly failed to act on this. They are failing in their duties for accepting what the law itself has agreed. And if the law does not provide explicitly for this, then they should activate the torture on the necessity. The same way they activated during the case of Musa Yaradua. They should activate the torture on the necessity and approve the creation of state police with the target that this should be apolitical. They should live beyond the politics, just as the Nigerian police force and other people are operating using the federal model.
All right, you acknowledged the inadequacy in terms of personnel, manpower of the existing conventional police force. Others have also questioned that if established as state police, what would be the jurisdiction in terms of areas of coverage? This should be your concluding thoughts.
Okay, so there is no ambiguity in terms of strength or whatever. Using the federal model. Hey, I want to sound this federal model because we are leading others are following. Using the federal model, I will give an example in Makoni here. You have the T division covering the areas of Ampa Quarters, Modern Market, Agbo, Ataka, and all those areas. And you have the civil protection guard in all these areas, including Agbo. Now, a case happens in Agbo, and the civil protection guard immediately moves into the action. Make effect arrest that any civilian citizen can make. Why would this citizenship arrest? That would be no this. So make this arrest are handed over to the T division. The T division, if it is the case to transfer to the area command or to the state headquarters, they do the same. If the case is handled straight to the state headquarters of the Super Guard. And by the way, they didn't invite Anana here.
Okay, talk to us. We're listening to you. It's an ongoing conversation. Even if we do not have her on this panel today, we can always follow up.
No, next time this kind of thing, you should bring her. That is the lady with her head above her shoulders and know much of what I'm saying here. So she would have confirmed what I'm saying now because she knows how we do it. This does not duplicate any role. It does not complete any role. Someone is arrested killing motorbikes and is taken to CPC headquarters. The state commander writes a letter and hands over officially to the police headquarters and the person is prosecuted. This has been done since this government goes to 2 years now. There's no conflict, there's no disagreement. They are not going to replace the function of the Nigerian police, but to complement the efforts of the police.
Chief Joha, Special Advisor to the Benue State Governor on Security, we thank you very much indeed for sharing your thoughts with us on the program.
You're welcome, my brother. What's your name again?
My name is Nathaniel Nongo.
Oh, call Nathaniel Nongo. I'll say your number as Nathaniel Nongo. Agate Radio, right?
It's all right. This is the studio line, so just save Agate Radio. In any case, if you tie it to Nathaniel Nongo, no problem, because Nathaniel Nongo is still part of the Agate Radio family. We appreciate your valuable time, sir.
Okay, I will save at Agate Radio. Meanwhile, you compliment me for taking your call without knowing you.
Thank you so much. That's why I'm saying thank you very much for your... All right. Dr. Admida, you listened to the governor's security advisor. He declined, he's not speaking for the government, but as a security analyst, are there some concerns he shared that you differ with him in terms of the submissions he made?
Generally, the definitional issues around community policing that need to be thrashed out, and the new police force that is being contemplated, that is at the state level, is not necessarily synonymous with community policing in definitional terms. The police at the state level is in response to the tier. That is, you have number one tier at the federal. They have security agencies across federal systems. You have at the state level is the other tier. Nigeria has 3 tiers, which is quite unusual. So you should have security embedded in the 3 tiers, in response to the 3 tiers. Now, community policing, by my own definitional understanding, is around community consciousness, policy consciousness. So, if within a ward, for instance, that there are nocturnal meetings in a household and they do not understand the meaning or the objectives of the whole thing looks shady, they will now ring the existing police forces at the local government or state level. They will alert them. Look, carries out robbery somewhere in Kano, escapes to the ward within the community in the ward, and hides their lies low, and an individual sees that this fellow comes, is building a big house. He comes with he will alert the traditional ruler or whoever, the security agencies at local government and state level, report to a hospital. This, I'm giving you sectoral examples.
Yes.
If it is outbreak of a disease, you alert the hospital authorities and security. There are some strange, disease within. If you see foreigners that are not, indigenous to your community, you alert. This is the essence of community policing. It doesn't have structures like you have county or local government police that is being contemplated, or you have them at the state level. I think that the community policing phenomena is misunderstood grossly in policy contemplation and all. This is what we're talking about. So even consciousness in various sectors within the community, so that the reporting system is such that alerts the police at the local government and state. Even now you have DSS embedded in most local governments, so they can sniff. They still relate with community leaders who pass information to them quietly, surreptitiously. That's the essence of it, and that is the relationship between community policing and existing security as is operated across the world in federal systems. Federal systems operate federated police forces. That is, you have they are consistent with the tiers. You have at the center, you have the army and all that. At the state level, you have the police. County level. Now, we continue to model the U.S. Use the U.S. as model because our constitution is modeled after the U.S.'s constitution with minor. So, in the U.S., like in Benue, you have Benue now. You have state police. You have Makudi mayoral police, You have local government police. That is, I'm just giving you about 3 of them. Now, the governor may have control over the state police. But then, if a member of the police force takes an order from him, he will go and steal election, go and arrest political enemy, and it's unconstitutional. He will refuse to do it, and nothing will happen. If he does it, he will be criminally liable, and he will face the music. George Floyd's, the police that hunted him down were local government police. They have faced the law. Outside the fact that the police force has been tainted, they individually, the police officers individually who killed him, have faced the law in their individual capacities. Now, when you are confronted by a situation like that, you also have several other police forces coming into the arena. Let me give you another example. A school is attacked in the U.S. You quickly find that the local government, the county police, surface quickly. You have FBI, which is a federal uniform group. They are there. You have the mayoral police. They will quickly come out. The state police will quickly be on hand. Before you know it, you have 5 different police forces. Each one of them will give a version of what they encountered on the scene. And so a governor, even in an electoral situation or wherever, does not have the single police force that will trash out situations like that. The other one, his eminent position as the chief security of framework at the National Assembly, members must, try to study and understand the frameworks that exist in the U.S., in Australia, and other federal systems, so that we have a good audience, not the unitary constitution that we have at the moment. This is what we are talking about.
All right. Dear listener, if you are just tuning in, you are listening to Perspectives on Agate Radio 95.5 Star FM, Makudi. Our discussion this morning is focused on the Northern Governor's endorsement of state police. And leading the conversation here in the studio is a lecturer in the Department of Political Science at the Benue State University, Makudi, Dr. Sebastian Agbinda. And we engage with you just about after 10 minutes past 10 thereabout, because we started behind it. So we'll push the conversation a little bit more before we start engaging with you. Kindly bear with us. There's the number through which you can phone in on the program is 0814-335-9292. Again, 0814-335-9292. 10 minutes away, we'll start taking your calls. Meanwhile, you can send us an SMS to 0912-699-9404. Again, the number for SMS, remember to include your full name and where you're sending your message from. Log on to our website on www.agateradio.tv.com to listen to us and access other content. We're available on Radio Garden and on social media platforms. You can also download the Agate Radio and TV platform from Google Play Store, as well as Apple Store, which you have it on your iOS device. It will serve you on that platform, that app. We have raised you the platforms of our television, radio, as well as newspaper, a one-stop app, Now, Dr. Agbinda, before we engage with the listener, let's not just look at this one directional. What are the implications of state police, especially for the landscape of northern Nigeria security, Benue inclusive?
It doesn't make sense to limit my answer to northern Nigeria, even though they are the ones responding late. You have a Yoruba police force in the country today. They responded pretty early.
Okay, and by the Yoruba, let's not just put it in that general context.
Not
when you talk about it, okay.
You may want to call it Southwest. You don't want to ethnicize it.
Very well.
But you know the name.
And you are talking about Amotekun in this case. But it has not been clearly established or defined as state police of the Southwestern Nigeria.
Obviously, it's not state police. It's in response to the fact that you don't have state police and local government police.
Okay.
And in the midst of insecurity in the region, you also have some form of loose security arrangement for the south east. Now in the north central, especially from the northwest, and their responses have been belated, even in the context of the responses that I imagine from. But you have not had a unified response that they say the Southwest have had. Now, the Northwest especially has been pretending that, we don't need state police and all that. Now, it has had the most elevated insecurity situation in the country. Slowly, maybe competitive with the Northeast if you look at the context of Boko Haram and all that. So quite easily and slowly, the North has become entirely engulfed in insecurity. Even in the midst of denialism, we don't need state police. We don't need local government police and all that. Now everything is coming back home to them. They are responding late. Their lateness is remarkable, and it is clear that it will have an impact. It will be easy if the presidency now brings up, or the members of the National Assembly bring up the issue. The last constitutional conference in the Jonathan era addressed some of these, contradictions in our so-called security infrastructure, as Nigerians laboriously call the phenomena. So it is clear that the North's response is belated, but it is very positive, because now there will be no hurdle in the National Assembly. You will see that it will easily pass. Of course, what we should be talking about now is the tenets of the framework. There is no fear about governors trying to manipulate. For instance, I imagine that National Assembly members will understand what to do. They should know what to do to, preclude abuse of security regulatory work in the midst of gubernatorial control or local government control of security apparatus at the local government. Operate police at the tier system, across the tiers. Ours is inconsistent. Then the policing system here is inconsistent with the tenets of federalism worldwide. I continue to say that. And so, if the National Assembly wants to pass the policing, state police and legislation, which is a constitutional matter, so it will amendment of the Constitution, it will pass very easily because everybody is feeling it. That is why I went through North, Southwest, Southeast. If you look at it in the context of header farmer crisis, everybody is feeling it. If you look at it in the context of your Benue here, everybody is feeling it.
Here in Benue, people are always taken aback when it is described as the header farmer crisis or clashes. They say it's attacks, invasion, because nobody is in clash.
It is an invasion. It is invasion across the board in the country. It's invasion. It takes the form of a header farmer crisis. It's basically invasion. There are various forms. It takes the form of mining in some communities. It takes the form of IDPs. It takes the form of land grab. So there are various manifestations of, but underlying all this is the fact that there is some form of invasion. So you're talking about trans-border security, surveillance and all that. That is why you need community policing in the manner in which I defined. And then you need local government policing, because it will resolve, the multiplicity of these issues that were, that are manifesting around insecurity.
Now, here in Nigeria, we have a bicameral legislature comprising the Senate and the House of Representatives. How is it, do you think, the National Assembly will debate this issue of state police and have a concurrence from two chambers?
That is where
the legislature.
That is where you understand the significance of the northern governors and the traditional rulers. The Sultan was there.
The Toti was also there.
Now, two states in particular, even within the Northwest, that's Kebbi and Sokoto, have been against state creation. Now they are and Senate. So the instructions are sent down. This is the position of northern governors. The northern governors will talk to their representatives at the National Assembly, and the framework has been there. If they go back to the Constitutional Conference was not so much for state police. That is the Jonathan Constitutional Conference. Now,
as a confab of 2014.
The confab, yeah.
Yes.
So this time they have moved a notch further. They are saying we want state police, and I'm saying they can't do state police without local government police. It's clear to me that they will have to do that. We have 3 tiers here. Even when you have 2 tiers, they have local government police. The insecurity, the magnitude of the insecurity is such that it will be a disservice in terms of response if they limit themselves to state and do not consummate the process by, legislating for state and local government police. It should be pretty easy. It should be pretty easy on account of this consensus reached by the northern governor. The North has been the one against the North and have defined the areas has been against state police. Now that they have said we are for state police, the rest of the country in the South, for instance, has been for state police, reflected in some of the plethora of ethnic-based, regional-based security outfits that have been thrown up. They are in response to the fact of, if we don't, govern our own region, you are going to take over with your federal police. So now that in 2 or 3 months they can, round up this process, because it involves constitutional amendment. In a month you can get that framework right around state police, local government police, and then define the parameters for local government police. In 2 months that can be out, because we are not reinventing the wheel. It's already there. Now you want the involvement of the states, because it's constitutional amendment. All the states are feeling the pinch. You have this overarching unanimous position from northern governors. So the state governors who are represented and reflect this unanimity will pass acknowledge the amendment process. I say it's a constitutional amendment, so it should have no difficulty. If they handle it as expeditiously as they should, on account of the elevated insecurity in the country, and they have timelines in 3, 4, 5 months at the most. That is before Christmas. We should have state police. We should have local government police.
All right. Dear listener, it's about time now for us to start engaging with you. To phone in on the program, use the number 0814-335-9292. The number again is... Welcome back from that short break, and thank you for staying with us. Once you connect with us, we'd like to know your full name and where you are calling from. Then make your submission. Very brief. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives.
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Theophilus again from Itangu. Where is local government?
Welcome.
Yes, I want to appreciate the effort of the Northern State Governor so much for endorsing the creation of state police. It is a welcome development. Despite it is long overdue, it is coming at the right time where Nigeria is facing a lot of insecurity challenges in this country. Therefore, I want to call on the National Assembly to pass this bill into law for onward implementation. If that is done, I believe the security powers in this country will be decentralized for the good of our local community. Thank you and God bless you. That is my humble submission.
Thank you, Theophilus Abiam. We appreciate your submission. The National Assembly should respond so that our security structure is decentralized for the good of the citizens. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
What Perspectives?
Yes, good morning. My name is Ezra Lupe Daniel. I'm calling from Modern Market.
We'll have you join us, Ezra.
Yes. I think the idea of the northern governments, for me, it is what cannot happen in our country. Because Nigeria, as you see, we lack no laws. You find out that the executive has a problem. Those who are supposed to execute and implement these laws. If you go to, you find out the Benue State Police Command now, for instance, we have Benue State Police Command. The governor has the right to change any commissioner of police. I always tell people that ordinary citizen, I walk up to a police station, ask for police services, and they will come for the arrest. So we don't ask anything. The problem is from the citizens. And you find out that, especially in our country now, they have monetized security services. If you don't have money, go to a police station now to lodge a complaint. You find out if you don't have money, there is no police officer that will answer you. And the criminal justice system in our country is also one of the problems. If we should be looking at the right way that if citizens have the knowledge to use it, we will not be having this problem.
Okay, Ezra, before you go, let's make a challenge a few submissions you made. One of which you said the governor have the right to change the commissioner. I think that is not entirely correct, because currently the police commands across the state take instructions from the Inspector General, and the Inspector General of Police at the force headquarters in Abuja reserves the right to change any commissioner. And when you talk about the security being monetized, maybe you want to help us understand what you mean by that.
Yes, let me tell you, for instance, for me in my local government, I've been able to change, let me talk about DPOs, because I write petition to Commissioner of Police. If you find out that a police officer is guilty of any offense, you petition the person, you can equally take them to court. So we have been doing that as an NGO, as a human rights activist. So I don't think it will be difficult for a governor to accept they want the police to be dancing their tune.
What is your position on it?
State police, for instance, Benue State Police Command. And
Benue State Police, you talk. Hello, Ezra. Benue State Police Command, which you are referencing, is a federal police. The command here in Benue, which you are referencing, is a command of the federal police.
Yes, let me tell you, it is the same Nigerians, even if you bring the state police, just the same Nigerians that are going to be recruited into this platform. So what I'm trying to say is that we should work on our citizens. In my community this morning, we reported a matter to a police this morning, and the whole community was against the person that complained. So you find out that the people, the citizens don't know. Some of them will report this matter, they will not follow up. So there is a lot we need to do, a lot that need to be done in the side of citizens. Not the system of democracy.
Thank you. Let's end with you. You have stated your position. Thank you. So many things you are saying that are quite at variance with what we are discussing, but anyway, we have accommodated those we can. Hello, good morning, and welcome to Perspectives.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome to Perspectives.
Thank you. My name is Jude Berry. I'm calling from Bakumengwe.
All right.
Thank you. I salute the analysts in the house.
Thank you, Jude.
Yes. You see, anything that has or has disadvantages, the advantages in it. When issues like this come up, sometimes we look at the disadvantages more than the merit, what we achieve at the end of the day. What is us in the creation of state police? If not that corruption or whatever has eaten deep into this country, and people saddled with a responsibility, very difficult for security personnel to handle security matters. The security situation in this country is overwhelmed by the conventional security men. So if we have state police, a collaboration with the contact guard or the community guard, it will help in safeguarding our community. So I advocate for the creation of state police. Let us not talk about the disadvantages, but let's look up and see what will happen. Better than to start something than never. I raise my case. Thank you.
Thank you, Jude. We appreciate you for calling in. 0814-335-9292 is the number for participation on the program. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Welcome to Perspectives.
Good morning.
Morning.
This is Kwaza Vincent calling from North Bank, Makurdi.
Thank you for joining us, Kwaza Vincent.
Yes, I greet the analysts in the studio.
Thank you,
on
sir.
Nugget Radio. The creation of state police is what we Nigerians expect before now, because looking at the insecurity that is happening in our country now, especially in Benue State here. You see, when we have a challenge of security challenge in a particular place, the governor has no right to just direct maybe the security men to go there. Then the commissioner of police will be taking command from the inspector general of police. So by the time this state police is being created, once something happens, governor will just direct them to go there and look into what is happening in that place. So creation of state police is what we expect before now. So if these northern governors decide that it is good, because they were the ones that maybe they were holding this thing. So now that they discovered that creation of this state police is good, then they should go ahead. But my advice is that if it is being created, governors should not use this state police to attack opponents. They should be used according to what they are created to.
Purpose of policing, securing lives and property, and not to attack opponents. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Come to Perspectives.
This is one of
I'd like to get your full name, Damian. I got engineered as your title.
Okay, I think this is Damian Akum, one of
Akum, go on.
I think the state police force is a welcome development, because if the governor of the state have full authority over them, if there's instruction to carry out a particular, let's say, to carry out a particular instruction that is used, I think that would be a welcome development, because sometimes you see when there are an emergency and that requires people from the federal level, then you see that the governor and put people across and the federal level, and then the president to take time to respond to that. So if the governor of the state has full authority over the state police, I think it's a welcome development. They should go ahead and the necessary. I think, for my own opinion, I think it's a welcome development.
All right, thank you very much, Damian. We appreciate you for calling in. The creation of state police is a welcome development. In your opinion, is not yet created, but the advocacy is being made. Good morning. Welcome to Perspectives.
Yes, Emeka Anyogo from North Bank.
Thank you, Emeka Anyogo.
In place of that, I am thinking of community policing, because as we have the conventional security today in this country, not all of them know the terrain of the area where they are being posted, because they are not indigenous of that area. And even the state police also, you cannot post somebody who is not from a local government. I think the best thing we have to do is that we should have community policing, because an incident occurs. Those people within that area can always do the to and make sure that everybody that committed a crime are being apprehended. So I am of the opinion that as we are talking about state policing, we should also talk about community policing, where the people within the environment will know who is who within that area. And with that, the problems we are having in this country today will not be there. Because you cannot post a Modigri man to Abia State to go and be a policeman. He will not know some of those areas that are within the Abia State. And I know that if you train a state police within Abia, he may not know all those places. That is why this community policing that they are talking about is very, very important in this state. And it is very, very important in this country, because it will reduce crime within. I do know that the state governors may use some of them, but it will not be like that. Because some of them will refuse. Because when there is crisis within their locality, you yourself will say no. Allow that crisis to be. Like all these boys who are creating problems here and there, at least if we post somebody who is from that area, he will know what is happening. So thank you very much.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thanks for calling in, Emeka Anyogo, for your position. In any case, when you talk about community policing, better than state police. I don't understand, but that's okay. We appreciate you for calling in. Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, good morning, Nathaniel.
Morning. Welcome to Perspective.
Thank you very much. My name is Friday Ogbodo from International Marketing.
To have you join us, Ogbodo.
It's a pleasure, my brother. First of all, security is everybody's business. And as so, whatever measure we take to ensure that there is security of lives and property, it is very, very important. The submission of the northern governors or the north central governors.
It's northern governors, not just north central.
Okay, northern governor is very important because you know what is happening now is spreading across. Whether you want to shield your people or shield an ethnic group or shield a particular group of people, as a matter of time it will reveal what you are capable of doing or not. That brings me to this point. State police is very, very important. It's as important as having also the federal police or what we have now on ground. We should encourage it. There should be legislation from the National Assembly to ensure that state police is created. That brings to mind also that the governors should be able to be ready to fund the state police. Funding is one of the most important aspects of creating a security apparatus. You must be able to give them, whether it's helicopter, whether it's bike, whether it's motor, whether it's also the purchase of armed versus walking, talking. It is highly important as the money that goes with it. That is an aspect that the state governors should also be working at. The next question is this. The governors also should not use these people, if the state police is created, to their own advantage in whatever means, whether for election, whether for being data or for political gain. They should be used for the purpose why it is created. And the federal police is also there to be able to checkmate the excesses of the state police. This is also very important. The creation is as important as the need has arisen already. Omotekun has done well in the southwest. Nobody, the white bear governor, was able to put a lot into it. Even though the approval of arms like AK-47 was not allowed, but the use of the pump action was also allowed. That is to say that there are level of arms that can be carried by the state police, even the local vigilantes, as we speak to you.
Thank you.
This brings security personnel with their guns, even in the marketplace. It is the legislation the state is able to form to enhance their security work.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Friday, for your submission. Thank you. Let's end with you now. You have made your points quite elaborately. There's no point going over them anymore. 0814-335-9292. That's the line to phone in on the program. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
Good morning. This is Azu Avane calling from behind University Face Gate.
Azu Avane.
It's long overdue, owing to the devastating state of insecurity in our country, year out. Noteworthy, the Nigerian Governors Forum, the Northern Governors Forum, has thrown their weight behind it. So I joined them for the full implementation of the state policy. For the policy. So on the account of the centralization of security framework, I am of the opinion that it should also be narrowed down to the local government areas, because the local government areas suffers the most in insecurity, and so the need for local government police as well. Thank you.
Vana, we thank you for calling in. In any case, state police is not going to be drawn outside another state. So if you, I think you are already keen into the advocacy made by the analysts on the program earlier, but we'll come to that to discuss more. Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
Good morning, Nathan.
Thank you.
Good morning, the panelists in the studio.
Thank you. Please, let's know your name and where you are calling from.
I am Takuruku Anyamazinga. I'm calling from Abete Bayon, Boko local government.
All right.
Yes. It's commendable and long overdue, as other scholars have been saying, but it should not be compromised. Let the state police take interest so that the security of Nigeria will be guaranteed. If it's that, we will agree for state police. But if it's not like that, as people are speculating, if the governors can influence the security for their own selfish interest, it will not be the better thing for Nigeria. It will be the worst. So let the state police be for people. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyamazinga, thank you for calling in. State police, when created, should be for the people and not for selfish interest. That's your opinion. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
Good morning, attorney and the panelists.
Okay.
This is Matthew Nyam from North Bank.
To have you join us on the program, sir.
Thank you so much for your initiatives. They are wonderful. This put together are public opinions. The idea of state police is a welcome development. It has existed long before now, in the ancient days, when the traditional rulers or chiefdom, each of them were having security apparatus with a leader appointed. The Hausa people will call them the Dansapo. Each chiefdom was having his own command. Now the problem is, poor management of internal security gives us a lot of problems. By the time the state police is created, except if the laws are respected the way they are established, it will give us a lot of problems. But if the law clearly defines what should be done without the interference of the politicians, it will be safer for us. Because poor management of the internal, this person was removed from office, one man Tashaku. He now leads his own group to join the faction of our enemies to fight us back. So if the internal security of the state or local government are poorly managed because of exuberance of power by the governors or senators or whoever, local government chairman, somebody whom they are not supposed to remove for their own selfish end, it will then give us a problem with a lot of aggression. So I'm also in support of the state creation of police, but let it be rooted somewhere where the control of this system will be very far from the political appointees, who will now want to use them on their people to inflict injuries on us. Thank you so much.
Appointment of people or control of the state planners.
Good morning. My name is Godwin Segeya.
Godwin Segeya, where are you reaching us from?
Yes, I'm reaching you from industrial areas here in Makobi.
Right.
State policing will help strengthen the insecurity in our country. And my advice to the governor of the National Assembly, if approved, they should try and recruit people within the state. But if they want to exchange them, they will exchange them. Because the people in Konshisha or the people in Bandika or Ado or Uju, they are the people there that are comfortable with that place. Anywhere the security or crisis is going on, they know how to tackle the issues. So they should try and engage the people within the state and within that local government, so that if there is crisis, they will know where the crisis is coming from. And if they want to block it, they will know how to block it, so that other people will not come. If you take somebody from Anambra or from Enugu to come and be here, or Kaduna, the person will not know. But with time, they can do transfer of the state security. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Godwin Segeya. We appreciate you. Anyway, when we come back, we'll look at how the legislative component of state police should look like, because it does appear some callers are getting it wrong. If you talk about state police, I don't think a state police will be created in Benue and posted to Plateau. It will certainly serve in Benue, and if created in Plateau, it will serve in Plateau State. But we'll discuss that further. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Rataya Dongo.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, my name is Engineer Sunday Anba. I'm calling from North Bank.
To have you.
Nice topic. I'm in support of the creation of state police, but with cautious optimism. Because even this present federal police system, if there were no corruption, it would have worked perfectly. So if you create either federal or state police or community police or local government police or even family police, if corruption is not eradicated, it's not going to work. So let's eradicate corruption. So, but we can give it a try. There's no harm in try. That's my submission. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. We appreciate you for calling in. Anyway, when you talk about corruption, I wonder, let's take some messages before we come back. And this one says, the creation of state police services, in my opinion, is the ideal for the country in view of our present security challenges. However, its actualization might not be the solution to our security challenges, because I don't think we have divorced the insecurity in Nigeria from general decay in morals and values in society. When created, can the state police be insulated from corruption, human rights violations, political influence, nepotism, and cronyism we see with our federal police? So many questions there. Thank you. Gabriel Nilo from Honor Occupier Extension Makudi. Gabriel Nilo, we appreciate your message. This one says, greetings to the guests in the house. The establishment of the state police is not bad, but the way they will discharge their duties matters a lot. We have a federal police and they have been centered in the cities, which is not supposed to be so. For us to get it right, the state police should not work in the cities. They should be deployed to communities, mostly the boundaries where local government chairman will be chief security officer, fully in charge, not just by the name, but total control. Lastly, the recruitment should not be politicized. Oropo Jesse from Ijegu, Obi local government area in Benue State. Oropo Jesse, thank you for participating on the program. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives.
Good morning. My name is Moses. I'm calling in from High Level Makodi.
Sorry, I didn't get the first name.
Moses K.
Moses
from High Level Makodi.
Moses.
Good morning to Chief Ajunda in the studio.
Thank you, sir.
First and foremost, I think we all agree that state police, or any name it is called, is something that we expect by now, and we desire it as a people. I think across the country there is that agreement. If the North is the last standing bastion, I think now the whole nation is agreed on that. However, the question of governance is the question on the table. How do we manage state police so that what has been a malaise, the rest of our system do not creep in? Because it is definitely going to creep in. Is why you hear all this talk of corruption and existing laws. And yes, there are existing laws for every aspect of our life. There are laws, but the application and implementation of those laws has always been a challenge. So it comes down to governance. But we cannot have governance without practice. So we must move forward on the question of state police and deal with the arising challenges as they come. Of course, we must be willing to analyze and look at the challenges wholeheartedly and openly enough, so that when we arrive at a conclusion, it will be holistic. Because if we go to state policing, definitely governors will take advantage, or those in power will take advantage. But when they take advantage, how do we respond? So that how do we fix the system after finding out that it can be used wrongly in one way or another? So the question concerned is of governance. But we cannot have governance without going into the practice of state policing. So I'm totally in support of the position, and I urge the federal government and the state to do the needful in terms of legislating for it. Thank you very much.
Moses K, we appreciate your position. Thank you for calling in. One more message and then we'll come back. Good morning, Earth and the guests in the studio. My name is Jonah Benjamin from Naka, Way West. For the creation of state police, for me, the creation of state police has become the only way to fighting criminality, not just only in Nigeria. Some perspectives.
Good morning, Mr. Nathaniel. My regards to guests in the studio.
Yes, warm regards to you. Yima, good to have you join us. We are listening to you.
Recently, the president was accusing the state governors for their inability of using the state security rules. So my question is that if the state police can come on board
pause on this call of Igbe. You might reflect on some of the submissions made by the callers. And we'll begin with a question he has just raised. Funding. One of the callers also made this a very serious issue, raised a serious concern about how the state police will be funded. Doctors,
yes,
Dr. Igbenda.
There are several funding streams. First, security, even when you say state police, it's not just the funding won't be limited to the states. The funding is going to the funding streams will respond to the federation account, as Nigerians call it. So if states are taking away this now, maybe case may be, the response to the federation allocation accruables to the state, we have to increase. I hope you understand that.
Very well.
That is, they have new constitutional burdens arising from this amendment involving state police. So, federal government, we have to rework the percentage accruable to federal government and all that. That's revenue mobilization and fiscal commission. They will have to say, look, states arising from these new fiscal burdens, we take this percentage allocation away from what they were getting before. The states will also have to, there have been amounts allocated to security in the past. Governors sit over the Ministry of Internal Affairs in the various states, also preside over them. They will have to, and then it may involve taxation. Some various forms of revenue streams are there which they can rework. But principally, that is what will happen. It is something for local governments. I continue to say that you cannot have state police, as it were, and not have local government police. It will make
now let's reflect. You have raised this again, and the opinion of people out there is that state police is already going to be domiciled in the state, right? And people for this state police could be drawn from local governments in the state. So yes. why are you passionate about local government police, which has not even become part of the discussion anywhere?
I imagine when they are talking about state police, they are also equally contemplating local government police. I've said that based on what happens in federal systems. The diversity is in the local governments.
Okay,
it's not limited. Let me make that point clear.
All right.
There's further diversity when you come down from states to local governments, and you shouldn't have a particular maybe like you have the Tulu or the Igede. They should feel comfortable in their domains with their state police, with the local government police in their domains before they are exposed to, what happens at the state control of the police at that level and then all that. So it is very, very important. We're looking at an opportunity to ensure that Nigeria operates as a federal system, especially in a critical area like security. Security is around neutral regulation. That is your ethnic group, my ethnic group, as an individual and all that. You should feel comfortable in the midst of the security apparatus you have in the country. And it shouldn't be limited to the center. It shouldn't be concentrated at the center. You shouldn't have state police and you don't have local government police. Okay. It's a misnomer.
Dr. Igbenda.
Based on the philosophy.
Dr. Igbenda.
Yes.
Won't the state police be drawn from across local governments
within
the state, and won't it spread, the personnel be recruited in such a number that the same state, the structure with the name state police will serve the local government? Do we need separate entities of state police, local government police before it will meet the security needs of the state?
You are not going to have, incidentally, as you have it in the moment, there are some non-indigens. I'm happy you raised this issue, and I will start by answering that. There are some non-indigens who claim, for instance, that they are from Makurdi local government. They have never been here. But there's somebody in the Nigeria police force in Abuja who brings a name and says he's from Makurdi local government and is a member of the Nigeria police force from here. You're not going to have that now, like some of the commentators appropriately said. So the state police from the local government that they are going to operate it to enhance security work, the neutrality, and the multiplicity will make it impossible for a governor to begin to do what they want, even though that is also tied to the integrity of the judiciary. There are other, factors that will help ensure that there is. I mentioned earlier the fact of individual culpability. If you go out as a policeman and do what the statute says you shouldn't do, you will be held individually culpable. You will be taken to court in your individual capacity. It won't just be institutional. So the governor, in giving instructions, must be aware of this. The implementer of the instruction must be aware that if you do the wrong thing, you will be held liable. These are some of the embedded items in the legislation that will ensure neutrality of the police at the state and local government. But then you must have them. The idea that you're having a local government police underscores the fact that if a governor wants to be too powerful and all that, he may not have control of the local government politically and all that. The local government chief will say, no, you are not going to do this here, it's an illegality. That acts as a restraint, as a brake on the some of the sensitivities commentators are raising, that governors, political appointees, politicians will capture, we raid the police and take control and remove some of the neutrality, the regulatory neutrality that is supposed to be at the top of the operational manual of police forces.
Okay, so just a moment. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Nat.
Thanks for joining us on Perspectives.
Yeah, I'm John Aluku. I'm calling from Makurdi.
Have you joined us, sir?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's been overdue. For a long time, people have been agitating, advocating for this state police. Number one, when they create state police, it will help solve the huge unemployment that has been bedeviling this country. Because our problem now is the applicants roaming streets, they constitute to the criminal all along. If state police is created, all those people, they are going to be recruited into the state police. Now, the issue of local government, whether involved or not involved, all the people of the local government states, they belong to local governments. The recruitment is going to be based on local government by local government. How many will you bring from this local government or that? So honestly, if they create, in America, there are police. You see, they are the beacon of democracy, but they still operate state police. There's nothing with it. All these people, these bickerings of if we create a state police, governors will use it for their selfish aims or this and that. If that should not start now, let us create the state police first and see whether it will work or not work. All this doubt about whether governors will be using them on, okay, governors not using the police, they are using them. So please, let us concentrate on what is on the ground first. Let them create state police. It will help us solve the insecurity in this country. Thank you, Adet.
Thank you. Appreciate you for calling in. Thank you, sir, for your position. Anyway, even though it's your opinion, Dr. Agmida, yes, it's quite concerning that he mentioned state police could solve unemployment. We should be creating state police for solving unemployment. In any case, let's establish clear to the listener that will be the last call we will take because our time is no longer there.
I wish I addressed the issue of it. You see,
yeah, that's the issue.
Unemployment itself is a form of insecurity because unemployment feeds so many aspects of insecurity, and it needs to be addressed, not in the context of state
engaging the unemployed as members of the state
you
police.
must
when
engage people
created.
anyway, because security is at the base. If you have insecurity, you can't do anything. Now, the issue of unemployment, I think it's a subject matter for another discussion, but then it's about productivity in the economy.
Yes.
How the state addresses industrialization.
Because I'm sorry to
the high unemployment levels, severe unemployment generates or helps insecurity in various ways. That has to be acknowledged. But then you're not going to drain the unemployment swamps on account of creation of state police and our state and local government
because
police.
like even some who are in some of the even the existing police ones, people have argued that some are
there because they want to be in the area. They went there because they were unemployment. A matter of how to do. You had no choice.
All right, we do not have time, Dr. Agbenda. Yes. You are a political scientist. Recommend if this legislation for creating the state police should eventually see light of the day. What are the key areas the National Assembly should focus on? That should be your concluding thoughts.
The most critical areas are the fears being raised here about political control, and I have also answered them. The fact of operatives being liable for their actions, especially when they infringe on the statutes, is very important. And then the multiplicity of security outfits will make it impossible. If you think you're controlling the state police, you don't control the federal policing agencies within your state, and you don't control. You may not have control of local government police. So that acts as a restraint, a regulatory restraint. You understand that your hands are tied. So those who fear that the politicians will capture the state police must also contemplate that. You also have to look at this must go side by side with revolutionary developments in bringing the judiciary in a vibrant and good infrastructural presence at the local government. So you also have to work out the areas of responsibility. In the U.S., issues of livestock, for instance, are local government based, local government police based. The local government judiciary is handled and such issues. You don't say, look, if you have a fracas between a farmer and header, transfer it to Abuja. No. Transfer it to Washington. No. You resolve it at that level. You take it to the law courts at the county level. They are resolved there. The issues of importation of livestock are the federal. So these issues must be, properly captured in the context of the security legislation they are contemplating now. At the state, this is where this will stop. At the local government, this will. So there's no way, I continue to say, that you can any other federal system, because the issues are very well laid out. The local government police will handle this matter at that level. The judiciary at that level will also handle it there. The prison system will capture the culprits at that level. You are not saying take this prisoner, take this one that has been convicted to Kuje prison. No, it's within the local government. So what we're talking about here is going to trigger, developments within the correction facilities, infrastructure, the judicial infrastructure, local government policing. Local government police, in terms of local government police, we need to make it very clear. Community policing at the ward level. Security consciousness and reporting systems based in the wards. That will be taken up by local government chieftains. So I have no fear. Yes, there will be a temperament, there will be a temptation by the state governors and all that, given what you see across the board in the country. They want to exert influence. They want to go after their enemies. They want to do unsavory stuff. Right. But then the multiplicity of agencies from federal, state, and local government will make it impossible for them to, and the presence of a vibrant judiciary, the quality of enlightenment. People are conscious of their rights in Nigeria more than before. So,
Let's end at that. It's an evolving discussion. If at all there's an angle to it, we can always follow up. Dr. Sebastian Agbinda is a lecturer in the Department of Political Science at the Benue State University, Makurdi. We thank you very much indeed for joining us here on today's edition of Perspectives, which you offer thoughts on the Northern Governor's endorsement of state police. We appreciate your valuable insights.
Thank you, sir.
By the way, has the university officially adopted its new name of that's the university? It's not in your place to answer the program.
But you can see that maybe coincident with the Easter celebrations, they covered the old.
Okay, so there have been speculations.
I think they are working. It's
for me, for us, we are waiting until there's an official pronouncement, either from the university authority. Its name has changed.
You should understand that I'm particularly excited being an Adasu follower.
Special advisor to the Benue State Governor on Security, Chief Joseph had joined us virtually on the program earlier and offered insights too. We are grateful to him. Unfortunately, the NBA chairman couldn't join us. Quite unfortunate. We hope follow-up editions of this program, as it's an evolving discussion, we'll take it up. My name is Nathaniel Nongo. We are here at Agate Radio. We'll continue to monitor the development and debates about state police if it sees the light of the day. Have yourself a great week ahead. Goodbye.